This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted joined by trainer Don Charles over Zoom. Don, how are you doing?
I'm good, my man. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. The weekend's here, so I'm looking forward to, well, the first time in a long time, a weekend with no boxing. But obviously, let's get into this interview because I know you've got a sparring session coming up. Firstly, just to catch up with you on your son, George. How's George doing?
George is good, you know. He's in camp at the moment. He's doing good and getting the experience, you know, priceless experience. And yeah, and I believe he's out in early November.
He made his Frank Warren debut, his Queensborough debut on that Joyce Takam card, Don. What did you make of his performance and his win?
Yeah, obviously very pleased. It's only his fourth professional fight. He did what he was supposed to do, win, first and foremost. He's a very technical, surgical operator, George. The stoppages haven't come as yet. He's 4-0 now with they've all gone the full distance. The knockouts and stoppages will come. We're very confident of that. He's very confident of that, and I'm very, very confident of that. Yeah, so far to date, we're very pleased of how he's progressing.
Don, is George putting the pressure on himself to get a stoppage win, or is it not on his mind?
No. Obviously, a stoppage is a bonus, but I have been here before. I'd rather a fighter who got the rounds in. If you go looking for the stoppages, sometimes it could look a bit messy. So I'm very, very pleased. The team, we're very pleased of how he's progressing, getting the rounds in, learning. The stoppages will come when he's in longer fights, long distance fights. I believe his next fight will be a 6-rounder. We probably could get a stoppage within that. So no, I'm not concerned about it as yet, and he's not concerned either.
Don, also a word on Jordan. How's Jordan doing?
Jordan Thompson, my cruiserweight, he's doing very, very well. They're both in camp together, actually. They're both in camp. They've just finished camp. And Jordan, I believe his next date is on the 30th of October on the Dylan White's undercard.
I was going to say, he must be having itchy knuckles now, Don, to make his Matchroom debut.
Of course, he's been out for a while. He hasn't fought for almost 2 years. Obviously, he got the pandemic partly to blame for that, but nevertheless, he hasn't been in the ring fighting. He's been in the gym training, improving, but he hasn't actually competed like most fighters in the country. So, you know.
Don, you mentioned looking at that October 30th card. Whyte-Wallin, what do you make of that fight?
Well, very interesting matchup. You know, Wallin, we saw what he gave Fury a torrid time. It was a very, very difficult, messy fight. And Fury came through. You know, styles make fights. It might be a totally different type of fight with Dylan. So I didn't actually, before the fight was mentioned, I didn't, you know, when you sort of try and match make for fighters, I didn't see that one coming. But there you go. Life is full of, the sport is full of surprises. But it's a good matchup. It'll make a good spectacle.
Another fight which was announced yesterday sees your old charge, Derek Chisora, rematch Joseph Parker in December. What do you make of them guys having a rematch, and what do you think will happen this time around?
Well, yeah, most definitely. Derek definitely deserves a rematch with that one because he, in my opinion, he won the first encounter. You know, so I hope he can put things, take it out of the judges' and hands this time and make it conclusive. Yeah, I believe he won that fight, and in the return, I believe he will make it conclusive. Yeah, I favor him to win the return match.
last time out, Derek had Buddy McGirt in his corner. This time he's working with Dave Caldwell. Whether that's still going to be the situation close to the fight, don't know. But currently he's there training. What difference do you think it will have having Dave there instead of a Buddy, or from your experiences being his trainer as well?
Well, basically, there comes a point in time in a fighter's career, like Derek Chisora has been a long-term campaigner in the heavyweight division. Yes, you need a coach. You need an experienced coach, whether it's Dave Caldwell or Buddy McGirt. Be honest with you, they're both high-level coaches. They're both coached at high level, world-class coaches. So I don't believe it'll make any difference whoever he has in his corner. And Derek Chisora, as the fighter, also he's campaigned at a very high level. Who is it that he hasn't fought? He's fought literally everybody. So yeah, irrespective of who's in his corner, provided he prepares properly, which I believe he will, and he's been in the industry for a long time. Nothing's new to him. He's faced the opponent before, so he knows exactly what it feels like to fight Joseph Parker. And you just got to try and improve on the areas that you didn't do so well during their last encounter. And any trainer that's working with him will be looking at the areas they could improve to make that victory. So it's reasons beyond doubt.
Don, AJ-Usyk next weekend. Just again, your breakdown of it. What do you think will happen between the pair of them?
Yeah, basically, like I've said in previous interviews with different networks, I'm not disregarding Usyk. He's an exceptional boxer. We know that. He's a gold medalist, Olympic gold medalist, the same as AJ. So it's going to be a very interesting matchup. Anthony being the more established heavyweight, because he's always campaigned at the heavyweight since he turned, he was a super heavyweight as an amateur. When he turned pro, he's a natural heavyweight. Whereas Usyk was a heavyweight in the amateur, and he campaigned at the cruiserweight division, and which he unified the cruiserweight division, professional. Like I said, it's going to be a very, very interesting match. It's going to be quite like a chess game initially, in my opinion. They're both going to be very, very cautious. Usyk is going to be very cautious of AJ's natural power. I believe he won't try and engage early on. He's going to try and maneuver, and in some cases, just stay away from AJ. And AJ's duty is to march him down and try and corner him to start putting some shots on him. So it's going to be a very interesting KG matchup fight. I favor Anthony to come on top, because at some point, Usyk needs to engage to try and get some things on AJ, and I believe that's when Anthony will get to him. I see a late stoppage in favor of Anthony.
Fury Wilder 3, only 2 weeks after this day. Again, just get your thoughts on it. What do you think happens this time around?
Well, like I said, when the second fight had finished, and the way that it finished, it was very conclusive. Fury literally mauled Wilder. I think what mostly beat Wilder is the surprise element, because he didn't anticipate that Fury would fight on Fury's front foot. And in his previous pre-fight interviews, Wilder stated on many occasions that Fury wouldn't dare fight him on Fury's front foot. And when the bell rings, Fury took center ring and kept Wilder on his back foot. I think the element of surprise kind of added to the outcome. And so that fight was very conclusive. Like I said, Fury literally systematically, it was a systematic beatdown. And when they mentioned about a trilogy, a third fight, I didn't for one think, what's the point? Because that fight was really conclusive. It wasn't as if Fury came out and knocked him out in round 1 or 2. You could say lucky punch, or, he got knocked out. It literally, like I said, systematically, round by round, dissected him, broke him down till the corner pulled him out, which was a right call, corner pulling him out for his own safety. But as the fight's wearing nearer now, coming closer, the third fight, everybody's warming up to it to the degree where we start to give Wilder a chance. Initially, I gave Wilder no chance whatsoever when the fight was initially announced, but coming closer to the fight, somebody with that knockout ratio in Wilder, and somebody who has that get out of jail punch, you could never write them off. So again, I do give him a chance, no matter how slim the chance is, it's still a chance. But I really do see Fury beating him, but I don't believe he will adapt the same tactic as he used in the second fight, Fury. I think if I were him and his team, I'd go how he boxed him in the first time, on the back foot, and very unpredictable Fury. I'll go back to his original way of doing things. I don't believe he should box him on the front foot again, unless he's getting the success. Then start pushing him back during the fight to put him on his back foot.
Don, just the final thing, obviously, this past weekend we saw a sad first-round stoppage defeat for Evander Holyfield against Vitor Belfort. I just wanted to get your take on that, Don. What did you make of seeing Evander lose in such a fashion?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's always sad to see the legends who they shouldn't really be fighting anymore. I'm sure there are other things in boxing, within the boxing industry, that could be a role they could be playing, rather than these people who are not even connected to boxing, luring them into having a full-blown fight. A 58-year-old man, I know he's in incredible shape for his age. Yes, he is. Incredible shape for just walking around as a normal civilian. Yes, but not to the degree you're gloving up again to go and participate where the punches are real. There's no fake punches here. It's for real. I don't think these people should be allowed to number one, get the license. I don't know who's handing out these licenses. As a boxing industry, collectively, I think something really should be done about this, where every individual, every Tom, Dick and Harry is setting up their own union to put these matches together. And I'm very, very worried in the sense that why would it's gonna take an accident, something horrible to happen before something is done about it. I'm saying prevention is better than cure. Why don't we put something in place to prevent these? They're not really recognized. Like I said, it's all money driven. I totally understand. But till something really happens bad, which it will, it's law of averages. There's so many of these fights happening, celebrity fights, people who've never boxed in their life. And it's happening very, very frequent. And like I said, it will take a disaster to happen, something bad to happen before something is done about it. Let's try somehow. I don't know how, don't ask me, to stop these individuals putting on these events, because also it makes a mockery of the sport, in the sense people get into boxing from the age of 9, 10 years of age to go through all the different levels of boxing, the amateur boxing, to the degree you go to the Olympics if you're good. And then after that, then you qualify to then become a professional boxer. There is a process that one must go through, the usual way of doing it, but that's all been bypassed now. Yeah, and boxing is probably the only industry where you can do this. Yeah, it's like me saying I want to play in the Premiership tomorrow, football, and then suddenly I find myself playing for a Premiership side, without having gone through all the different stages and levels of playing football. Yeah, boxing is the only, and boxing happens to be, you can't play boxing. Boxing is a combat, full contact sport. I'm not even sure it should be classified as sport, because people you can get hurt doing this. So it should really be looked at before something horrible happens. And it is the only industry that you can just say, I want to be a boxer. Then within 3 months of doing it, you're competing, getting punched in the head. I'm not sure how well these things are regulated. It shouldn't really be allowed to happen, but it's happening and it's accelerating.
Right, Don, we will leave it there now. Leave you to enjoy the rest of your day, and of course, go and take care of your sparring there with your guys. So appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social. Enjoy your weekend.
Always a pleasure. Take care, Andy.